Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Dark Tide Rising, or Darkwind, depending on what console I'm playing on, and I have a question to ask a lot of people. Do you guys feel that Fallout 4 is a half-assed game? Now, I know that's kind of weird because we all end up loving the game, but the problem is, does it feel like its developer didn't put the proper amount of time and execution to this game in any way or form? There are some interesting ideas in this game. There are some really good ideas implemented, but they kind of half-assed it. It feels like it no matter what you do, you see elements of the game in your face constantly reminding you they half-assed it. When you look around, you can see through the shadows how the shadows don't move fluently, how they go from one jump to another. You see it when you see things floating around. You see it when they put their DLC, which the DLC, we all know, was half-assed. It's sad when you think about it, like, oh, they put new things in the game and things that we really don't need. We all know the Contraptions DLC was complete and utter nonsense. Garbage should be more. What are you going to use it for? To see how much you could create useless crap in your settlement? We didn't get a lot of new weapons in here. We didn't get a lot of options. We basically got half-assed stuff. Like, why is there only Minutemen skin for the T-45 power armor and not the T-60? Like, they know people like to roleplay this game, but they didn't put anything that could be properly used. They want you to build things. For example, when they released Vault-Tec Workshop, oh, we'll give you toilets and sinks. Bathtubs? Nope. Stalls? Nope. Lavatory rooms? Nope. Why? Why go with all the effort just to half-ass it? There's no reason to half-ass a game. If you're going to go full force, go big or go home. Simple as that. And there's no excuse, because we all love Bethesda. We all love their games. But all the problems from their other games still move on to here. There's no reason why when you build a building and it rains, a roofed building is full of water mechanics. It shouldn't be. It should be dry. It shouldn't look wet. There's no reason why when you put a roof on a building, water is still going through. This was an issue with Skyrim when that game came out, because you could be inside of a building outside with a roof over it, and you'll see snow or water droplets going through it. And I know they might be like, oh, no one's gonna care, no one's gonna notice it, but yeah, people noticed it. Yeah, no one made a big deal about it. It's not a big issue, but it kind of takes away from the game's illusion when you are playing and there is literally a floating tire in your face. There are cracks in buildings and no openings to lead to dead ends when you are walking, and from some strange, stupid reason, you could see that the houses you explore are just literally a half-assed dining room, barely a kitchen, a living room, one bedroom, no bathroom. Like, really? It's sad when you look at Fallout 3 and you realize when you went into houses to explore them, most of the houses had bathrooms, they had sinks, they had kitchens, they had dining rooms, they had everything in there. But in this game, they really did half-ass a lot of it. I don't know if it was time constraints, I don't know if it was a deadline, I don't know if it was the memory, the engine itself, which they should have reworked if they knew there was going to be limitations like this. But they didn't. They gave us a product that wasn't 100%, and when people brought it up to them, they act like it wasn't a big deal. So we have to resort to modding. And if you have the PS4 version, sadly I do, you can't utilize that in any way or form. You get mods that will crash your game. You get mods that will only give you certain things in the game. You got mods that really don't help. Now here's an example of them being half-assed. The mining helmet. We all know it's in the game. Hell, you could change its color. You could give it different types of lights. You could turn it on and off. Okay, that's pretty cool they put it in there. When it comes to the combat helmet and the marine helmet, which you only get 2 in the entirety of the game without mods, you can't make the flashlight functional. What the hell was the purpose of that? To put a flashlight on there and not make it functional when you can literally make mine helmets work. Example, like, they do not execute things properly. They think of an idea and don't bother going full force. Like, what's the point of going full force? Don't come up with the idea if you're not going to go full force. Like, people like it when you make a game work. Don't make excuses. Don't make it half-assed. Don't give people reasons to nitpick it. Like, these are kind of nitpicks in a way. Yes, they are nitpicks, but overall, it's the illusion of the game itself. Like, you can't put certain items on. You don't have a lot of customization. You have limited supplies and things you could do. And now with the creation workshop, whatever you want to call it, the creation kit, creation, whatever, they make you pay for extra stuff. Because, like, okay, they know they did this. They know they weren't 110%, so they're starting adding stuff in, like, mid-century furniture. Pretty cool. New rugs and everything. Still things that people haven't been asking for. New lighting, okay. Then you got weapons that make no sense. Why would you put the prototype Gauss rifle in here when you already have the Gauss rifle? Bring back the other weapons of Fallout 3. Bring back the Lincoln Repeater. Make that work into some kind of canon. Like how I got past it went from the Capital Wasteland to here. Could have happened. Could have worked. Give us weapons that we wanted back in this one. It's pointless to have two different Gauss rifles. Yes, the stats are different, but not worldly different. Hellfire armor. Damn, bring back the Enclave. Had an expansion for DLC to have the Enclave as a threat still. You guys could have worked it into the game somehow. Instead of just having Enclave armor being walked around by a forger. That makes no sense. That was kind of disappointing. But you gave us the handmade shotgun. You gave us a bunch of stuff that no one reacts for. Chinese armor, yeah, you know, Chinese stealth armor. People like from Anchorage. No harm to bring it back. But what comes around, if I start exploring this game right now, I could point out every half-assed detail of it. Yeah. Which I'm not going to make an entire video line just bashing the game. The game is fun. The game is cool. You could be creative in it to an extent because they limited your supplies and what you can do. And it's sad for modding. The mods aren't that impressive on here because of the PlayStation limitations, which are stupid. Like these, Creation Workshop. Those mods. It just makes no sense. Why even do that? Like, just... And the Creation Workshop has falsely advertised two things in their, the mid-century pack you could buy. Shows there being a stove next to it, and next to a fridge. You buy it, it's not there. The handmade shotgun shows that the shotgun has 3 barrels in one of its screenshots, and it's colored. It doesn't happen. You can't do it. There's no third barrel. You can't color it green. You can't do anything with it. So yeah, they literally show these screenshots are from the original computer. I guess the original computer mod that was inspired by these guys who do this creation work pack, and they don't put the entire thing in there. So you're sitting there buying a product that's not even completely. Like, look at this. That's what I'm talking about right there. He's levitating off the ground. Clipping issues, so on and so forth. Like, there's just a ton of things they didn't do well, and that's why, in my opinion, I believe the game's half-assed. Hopefully, with Fallout 5, it is going to be a 5. We all know it. Don't know when, because it took forever to get this game out. They learned from the mistakes of this one. Reamp the engine, build it from scratch, give us a more polished, finished game, and don't leave it. Big eyesores. Like, if you walk around the city of Boston, you see there's a lot of eyesores that they didn't do right, or didn't fix, or just left floating around. Like, I only have mods on here for certain things, but not enough to change the environment. So there shouldn't be issues. So those issues you see are literally from the vanilla game itself. Just wish they thought it better, thought it through, made a more polished game. I'm not trying to compare them to anyone else, because you know they got their own formula, their own situation. But in the gaming industry, when there's people out there who want to make their games into an art form, like say The Witcher or Grand Theft Auto 5, and they do all this time to make a game. And I know Rockstar is a different studio. I know Red is a different studio. I know all of that, but when you see people putting the effort to polish their game up right, there's really no excuse. You should be competing with them. This just put a fire underneath your ass to do a better job. There's a reason why a lot of game developers, like, I'm sorry, Infinity Ward, are lazy. They make the same exact Call of Duty game every year, little to no changes. They take things from other games, and there's a reason why they get criticized so badly. Sports games are the biggest criminals in this, because you don't get anything new for every game that comes out every year, and you still pay for it. But when it comes to games like this, a studio like this, the studio that gave us Skyrim, they gave us a lot of good games from their studio. This is kind of unacceptable to the extent that you don't give us, 1, a lot of good DLC, 2, a literally unpolished game, 3, you expect us to just be okay with it. Then you want to create a method to pay for things to get it in the game that should have been in the game to begin with. If you had these ideas, why didn't you just go with them? Like, the DLCs in here were lackluster, except for the exceptions of Nuka World and Far Harbor. And, you know, Vault-Tec Workshop was kind of boring, because it was just you building a vault, which had limitations and how much space you actually do with it. And the AI in there is pretty stupid, because everyone clumps up in one location. AI in here is completely stupid. Like, didn't even polish that right. Again, guy over there floating off the ground. I'm not gonna rant on for 30 minutes about this, but the point is that when you make a game, go big or go home. Don't have half-assed ideas to put in there, because people like me are going to make videos about this. I'm not the only one to make a video like this. I know there's probably a million people who made videos on this, and many countries who played this game are like, the hell. It's still a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the game's terrible. Don't play it because it didn't do this. I'm just saying, if you're a good studio, we expect better from you. Same thing with movies. a good director, we expect better. Good writers, we expect better. We always expect better from someone who could develop or make something that's worth playing or watching. There's literally no excuse for half it. I know someone's probably going to correct me if they see this video and put it in the comments, but I feel like for the longest time I need to say something about this. Thanks for watching this. Anyone's able to comment. Peace out.